What's your "I'm glad I tried it, but never again" story? Times Square New Year's Eve. It was more like wake up at 6 a.m., breakfast, go stand until midnight. That definitely does not sound worth it. I tried in 2011. Wanted to see the ball. Did not get close to it. It was packed. I came as far as half the park. So many people. Then it was 0-100. You can almost not move, so saying Happy New Year to your friends feels more like a fight. Pushing away other people that wanna reach their friends. Beside the time I cried myself to sleep with a bottle of vodka and a kebab, that was the worst New Year's ever. I wanna hear about the vodka and kebab incident. I'd assume he was all alone on New Year's Eve and got himself vodka and kebab. I got to land, me being the only passenger, in an auto-rotating helicopter. Auto-rotation is what helicopters do when they lose power at altitude. The force of the fall spins the blades of the helicopter, giving the pilot enough control to land. Thing is, once power is intentionally, in my case, lost, the blades slow down and the helicopter falls until the blades spin back up to speed. We dropped like 50 feet. It was a rush but new. Ed, for clarity, I'm not a pilot, I was the lone passenger. Cocaine was without a doubt one of the best nights of my life, which is why I will never try it again. A line of cocaine makes me feel like a new man. Only trouble is, he wants a line too. Skydiving. I hated everything about it, but I can say I conquered that fear. First day in Thailand, family vacation. We're starving so we stop by at a restaurant. When we receive the menu, none of the things sound really appetizing to me, except for the meal that also happens to be the spiciest on the menu. I figure, oh what the heck, you always hear people talking about how spicy food is around these parts, but surely that's exaggerated a bit. Even if it's too spicy for me, how bad could it be? My mother tells me I shouldn't take it. My brother calls me an idiot, and not to take it. The waitress warns me that it is very spicy. At this point all of these warnings only make me more stubborn and committed. The meal arrives, and I remind myself not to drink water once I start eating, because it will make it more spicy. I take the first bite, and it's not too spicy. Second, starting to be quite spicy, I can handle it. I start eating it with a lot more rice. At this point my eyes are teary and I need to wipe my nose. I keep eating. My brother starts laughing, tears are falling down my cheeks, but this is perfect. I love it when a food is too spicy and you keep on eating, there is a special feeling that comes with it that I can't describe. Finally, I break, my face is full of waterfalls, there isn't any rice left, and the waiters are trying their hardest not to laugh. Water is streaming out of my eyes, but fuck, I was going to finish this meal. But first, water. I knew I shouldn't, but at this point I'm not thinking straight. I drink the entire glass and keep on eating. Different waiters keep bringing me more water to see me up close. My brother is laughing his ass off, but fuck, I am going to finish this. Finally though, I broke. Water was still streaming down my eyes faster and greater than I'd thought possible. I'd stopped wiping my nose ages ago because it just couldn't stop. The entire restaurant, my family, and myself are laughing hilariously. 10 out of 10 experience and great story to talk about with friends, but I might not be so cocky in the future. Edit, didn't expect this much attention, I'll read the replies when things calm down. To people asking what I ate, or where. I don't remember. All of the small details were overshadowed by the event. Also, yes, I've been told that the feeling I can't describe is just endorphins released by the brain, apparently acts like painkillers, thanks. Stand-up comedy at an open mic. I enjoyed writing, I enjoyed being on stage once I got my first laugh, and I enjoyed the feeling after getting off stage. But the intense anxiety leading to being on stage was not even a little bit worth it for me. Public speaking is not my forte. Living in an apartment where I'm in charge of roommates. Had to evict people who didn't pay, dealt with extreme lack of cleanliness. It's honestly just easier to live somewhere small and cheap, alone, than a nice big place with roommates. Can relate, currently live with 5 other people, one of them recently created maggots. I think most people frown upon calling kids maggots. Handmade phyllo dough. Everything from scratch. So much rolling. I did it. It was delicious. I will never do it again. I joined the army. Best one-time decision I ever made. I want to learn discipline, fulfill my duty as a citizen, become trained to prosecute war, meet fellow patriots, and grow some damn chest hair. One brain injury, busted ankle, and an episode of year-long, psychosis-inducing insomnia later. Well, I'm quite satisfied. I think I'll be a massage therapist for a while. Cliff diving. I.F. was about to chicken out when I was on the edge of the cliff, but my girlfriend grabbed me tight and jumped off with me. I hate heights. A little less now. But that was replaced with a new fear of landing on top of sharp rocks. Edit. Oh wow. RIP inbox. I didn't expect that my answer to an empty question would explode. I'm thankful for all the upvotes though. Edit 2. Female tag is to stop people confusing me with a guy. I can't please anyone. First people get agitated that I don't tag my other comments and mislead people, and now it's because it isn't necessary. My dude, I'm right there with you. My dad's a physician who works with a lot of people with spinal cord injuries. He took me on rounds with him when I was a kid, and I remember meeting this guy who was quadriplegic and in his mid-20s. I said hi and he and my dad talked for a bit, and as we went to move on to the next patient, this guy looks me right in the eyes and said, "Never jump into water." So I don't. There is quite a lot of shit that gets crossed off my list from patients I take care of at the hospital. No driving or riding without a seatbelt. No playing sports or rough stuff with rings on. Google degloving if you want to feel your butthole turn inside out. No diving, anywhere, ever. The list probably longer, but those are the ones that jump out immediately. I don't do drugs, but seeing some patients on my psych rotation in med school convinced me to never, ever try spice. Synthetic marijuana doesn't sound like hardcore shit, but some of those guys went into psychotic states for weeks and developed trichotillomania, obsessively ripping out their own hair from their heads and bodies. Spice found its way to my not even once list right beside crack and meth. Diving headfirst into water and riding motorcycles also became a lot less appealing after my trauma surgery and neurosurgery rotations. Stock __ trading __ gambling. I was puking my guts out from anxiety during the down days. Edit. For those asking. This was my final position. I cashed out just after I took the screenshot. But during the down days I was losing $100,000 plus in an hour. It was not fun. If anyone asks if you should do this, dear God no. This was seriously fucked up. I almost died. This was insane. That was pure luck. I was not in control of that situation at all. Look at this shit. Why do I keep doing this? I don't know. Maybe I hate myself, maybe I think I deserve to die. I don't know. This comment perfectly describes what you should learn from this trade. I recommend you not to invest in cryptocurrencies then. Edit. Because of the frequent comments to mine, yes, I saw the screenshot. And it was posted about 7 hours after my comment. Bitkuni CCCCCCCT. Wasa Wasa WASSAAAAAAP. Hey hey HEYYYYYY. Hey hey HEYYYYY. Hey hey HEYYYYYYY. A huge burger with 2 giant donuts as buns. To be honest, it wasn't that bad, but that feeling of pure diabetes prevented me from getting another, or even finishing the one I had. Edit. To those of you asking, it was at a music festival in CA. It was about twice the size of an In-N-Out burger with Krispy Kreme donuts. Roller coasters that go backwards. I'm not even sure if I'm glad I tried it. It was horrible. Zookeeping. Loved it, but after a master's and the associated debt it was financially impossible to do long-term. It's a shame that what we love often can't be maintained. Sad face. Ate a Carolina Reaper. Lava fills your mouth and fire fills your stomach. An experience to be sure, but not ever again. Pursed my nipples. It was fun, but damn, I am glad I don't have them anymore. Being scared of seat belts, lace-covered bras, brushing my hair, getting my hair caught in my jewelry. It looked great, but damn, I am glad I don't have to worry about something hitting my boobs. Also not having to be scared of someone playing with my boobs, and sleeping topless. I just don't do piercings. Building my own PC and overclocking it. It was a fun experience, especially the OC part, watching the temperature, adjusting the voltage, checking stability, getting it as fast as possible while keeping the temperature in check and still running stable. These days, I don't care enough for those extra few % of performance, but I am glad I did it once. Back in the day when CPUs were just about to crest 1 GHz, AMD had Athlons out that were actually locked, but you could get around the lock by using a mechanical pencil and tracing the lead on the chip from one pin to another. Managed to push my 900 MHz to 1 GHz, felt like a goddamn king. I installed an extra 8 MB of RAM and overclocked my processor from 30 MHz to 33 MHz. My shit was flying. 75-foot gap jump on my snowboard. Looking back at it, I'm surprised I made it over alive. But some hot chicks were there, so I'm glad I did. Tasing myself. Totally read that as tasting myself. That brought about some strange thoughts. Working at McDonald's, Sweden, I now have high respect for people who work in service, in general. I have learned to be more patient when waiting for my food whenever I'm at fast food restaurants. I know the painful stress they're experiencing and I won't put them through more by being an impatient asshole. But I will never, ever work there again. The stress is horrendous and people can be real jerks to the employers for no reason whatsoever. All sorts of weird food. Most weird things I've eaten I actually like: organ meat, wild game, very rare or raw meat, that sort of thing. I see something different on a menu and I'm fucking ordering that shit because I've discovered all sorts of weird shit I ended up loving. But I'll never eat bats again. You know what they call bats? Chicken of the cave. Anal. I came here to find this. Cum no more. Dating a single mother. I loved her and loved the kids, but it didn't work out. Now I'm grieving the loss of not just the relationship with her but also with her 3 beautiful kids. I went to a maid cafe in Akihabara. My friend, a Japanese woman, wanted to take me. Seriously, the whole experience was pure cringe. First, the maid said that I'm her master. Also, we had to say "nian nian" when we were ready to order. One of the drink options included a maid making your drink in front of you while chanting your name and clapping. I did not go for that one. While we were there, some other guests paid for the maids to sing a song, so we had to watch a couple of them shake streamers around and sing and dance along to a Dragon Force style anime song or something. We also had a picture taken at the end. We had to pose like cats. Yeah, it was awful, but at least it's something to talk and complain about with internet strangers. Here's an example of one. Growing weed. Jesus, it's hard work. 700 fucking plants, the feeding, trimming, general maintenance of the facility. It was a grind. Upside, I got to pinch about a 1/4 of a pound out of each harvest. Still, nope. It's literally farming, and farming is hard. Childbirth. Although I could argue I wasn't particularly glad to have experienced it in the first place. Edit, my kid was planned. Had a few messages asking why I had a kid in the first place. I was never fond of squeezing a human from my lady bits. The birth was not the best, labor for 36 hours with his spine resting against mine. Kid's heart rate would not go up after each contraction. They cut me so they could use forceps. An emergency C-section was on the cards, but we could have lost him in the time it took to prep for surgery. I hemorrhaged and then went septic. I am currently riding a Vespa through Rome. Italian driving sucks and I am so anxious, but I am glad I crossed this off my bucket list. I am not texting and driving. I stopped for lunch. I love that I can be farting in bed in my boxer shorts, and be on a thread with somebody who's doing something so exciting like riding a Vespa through Rome. Hot air balloon. I was 4,500 feet in the air for an hour and a half with nothing separating me from a horrifying death but a wicker basket. I tell everyone to avoid hot air balloons for very good reason. My mom, 2 aunts, and grandfather fell out of one at the 1998 New Mexico Hot Air Balloon Festival. They all survived thankfully. One lady who they didn't know died though. The balloon got caught up in a huge gust of wind, hit 2 sets of power lines, and then the basket separated from the balloon. They fell 30 feet to the ground. My mom shattered her pelvis, my aunts both fractured parts of their spines and broke their feet, and my grandfather broke his neck. Thankfully they all made full recoveries. My mom limps, but that's it. Meth. It's better than anyone can describe. You will stab your mom for more. Fuck, it's fun. But don't. You're giving it a very glowing review, man. 5 stars. Wouldn't do again. Vacationing in Brazil. Apartment broken into, heinous sunburn, traffic, cab drivers, and not a small chance we'd get mugged. Met some awesome people, ate a lot of really incredible food, enjoyed the views and local hospitality enormously, but also heard enough stories from locals to know I got really, really lucky. I majored in civil engineering and am currently working in the construction industry, but more into the project contract management side. What I studied in civil engineering in college is very different to what I have to use in my current day-to-day tasks. Most of the calculations that you're taught are now done by programs and you just have to input date. If I had known this, I would have probably majored in something else because 4 years of engineering really took a lot out of me. The constant workload and stress really made me want to quit at times. I'm glad I finished it though. Men. I didn't even really try, but I got close enough to be like, well, this clears things up. Edit, I'm a lesbian y'all. For me, women. Had played with guys growing up, but a girl tried to give me head and I couldn't even get hard. I didn't want to be gay but came to terms with it because I never had a problem getting hard when a guy tried blowing me. Up to that point I had tried to force myself to be bi because I really didn't want to be gay due to the area I lived in not being very accepting. Sleeping around. My mental health plummeted when I was around 20-21 and I slept with near enough anybody who would sleep with me. I'd never let myself get that way again, but I don't regret it. I now have zero interest in NSA sex, and I can genuinely say I'm comfortable only sleeping with my partner for the rest of my life. There's no curiosity about others or anything because I feel like I've done most of what there is to experience anyway. What is NSA sex? Like FBI sex, but kinkier. No strings attached. So one night stands or friends with benefits sort of things. I got hypnotized by a street performer downtown. There was a point where I thought I was an exotic dancer, and started pole dancing around a traffic sign. I lost my grip and fell in the road and almost got run over. I woke up feeling really refreshed and it makes for a fun story, but I'm not gonna roll the dice on that again. Piloting a plane. My girlfriend got me a Groupon for a lesson and I was super excited about it. The guy even let me take off. I was thinking, I don't know if you should hand your life over to a stranger, man. I barely trust myself. It was a very small plane so you feel every bit of wind and it was stressful for me. Maybe that goes away if you do it 5 times or so, but I just wanted to try it once. Now I'm good. Prepared for and ran a half marathon this May. I'll stick to 5K once a week, thank you very much. I'll stick to 5K once a week. I do at least 60 miles a week. It's harder since they installed bus lanes, but my car has a decent stereo. My 13th birthday I had 2 male friends have a sleepover. I am also male. One of the guys suggested, hey, why don't we practice? You know, for when we get the opportunity with a girl. So we had a gay 3-way. I bummed them, they licked my tits, one of them sucked me off. And when all 3 of us were sat in a circle wanking each other off, we looked at each other and near enough at the same time stopped and said, yeah, this isn't for us. Glad I tried it to know if I am gay or not, now know that I am not. Edit, wow, did not expect this to blow up to where it did, hope the guys don't go on Reddit and read this. Thanks all smiley face. One of the guys suggested, hey, why don't we practice? You know, for when we get the opportunity with a girl. Speech 100. Now that is something I cannot relate to. Mardi Gras on Bourbon Street. It was a ton of fun, but it was also smelly, sticky, crowded, sweaty, and gross. They literally have front loaders to scoop up the trash from the street each night. Went back the NOLA this year out of season and I loved the city so much more when it wasn't flooded with drunkards and garbage. Cocaine. Tried it more than once and I'm glad I got that curiosity out of the way, but it was beginning to be a regular part of my concert attending routines where I feel like because I was at a concert I had to do it out of tradition, but got really high on weed one day and had an eye-opening epiphany and never done it since. This what I came to comment except. Cocaine fixed me. Made me happy, energetic, enthusiastic. After I saw how different it made me, and how much better it made me feel about myself and everything, I swore I'd never touch it again. Snorkeling. I've actually done it a few times, but once I got stung bad by a jellyfish, and the other time was on the Great Barrier Reef and I was literally terrified the entire time. Turns out I'm very afraid of open water. And sharks. But it was still quite a cool experience. Waxing my back. The process itself wasn't bad, but then again I have a high tolerance for pain. The woman waxing me kept commenting on how impressed she was that I didn't cry out in pain. The smoothness was great. The worst part was when, a few weeks later, it started growing back. OMFG, the itching. Definitely not worth the cost, but glad I know this now. Thanks for watching our video. If you like it, please smash the subscribe and like button to support the channel, so that we can create more quality content in the future.